All right. Welcome, everybody. It's 11 o'clock, and we are in level two. Our job in level two is to get our fingers comfortable on the keys. All right, we're not going to go into big arrangements or presets or anything like that. So, this is just about getting your fingers comfortable on the keys, one hand at a time, or if you're getting to put both hands together, that's a wonderful thing. You can start doing that. Today we're on page 18. We are on Aloha, and as you know, we do one song from the front half of the book, 1 week. So we have all red, blue, and green chords. These are the easiest ones to start getting the two hands together. And then the alternating weeks, we go to the back of the book where there's no colors. We will review last week's song, which was Edelweiss, and we're starting to learn minor chords and seven chords in the back half of the book. All I'm asking you to do is try to look for one thing. Be successful at one thing today. If maybe you're just starting to get two hands together, fabulous. If you learn a new finger position like a tuck under or a crossover, fabulous. There should not be any new chords to be learned today because all we have are red, blue, and green. Now here's something to talk about. Our starting chord and our ending chord are different. Why do we need to know what the ending chord is? It tells us the key that we are playing in. 9 times out of 10, it's the last chord, not the first chord. Why is that important for us? Because if you are using a music style, which I don't want you to do in level 2, I want you to use a music style when you're out of class. But when you're with me in level 2, just put on your easy button. But if I decide to go to Aloha, and I'm going to find it in Hawaiian, I would want to start my introduction with a C chord, not the F chord. Why the C chord? It's the last chord. It tells me the key that the song is written in. You always want your introduction to be in the key that the song is written in. And 99 times out of 100, it is the last chord. All right? We also have an optional no chord at the beginning. A no chord is any three fingers in a row, any three keys in a row. Whoop. Any three keys in a row. And what that does is it keeps your drums going, but it knocks out all the music. So it's completely optional. If you start on the C chord, you can start that pickup note on your C chord. It's going to be absolutely fine. Now we're in 4/4 time, so let's review. 4 beats to a measure, and it's written as a fraction. 4 quarters. That tells me that the quarter note gets one of those beats. All right, so here we are with Aloha. It came up to 72 beats per minute, and my chords are going to be C with the pinky, F with the pointer, thumb is your G. Green thumb goes on a green G. I put my little note cards in between the B and the C and the B and the C because for all intents and purposes, your easy play chords can all be played right here. Right here. Now, once you start getting into some of the more advanced chords, like I know yesterday, Robert and I both pulled up a B minor 7 flat the 5th. And I thought his explanation of how to play it was pretty darn good. So, but you have to go outside of the box when you do those things. So we don't worry about it. If we were to play a B minor chord, it can be right in here, in between these two note cards. So in order to learn your chords, you may want to put those in there so that you don't wander around. You also might want to take these two fingers and put them up into the black keys just a little bit so that you have bumpers on your hand. If you're down here, it's very easy to roam around. Eventually, you want this hand to become like typing. You don't want to have to look at this hand. This is your typing hand. This is the hand that's going to be roaming around the keys, and this is the hand that you perform with. So this one's going to be all over. This one never moves from here. All right, let's do some fingering. Get your pencils out. G1, A2, C3, F5. Now, you have to stretch. Stretch, stretch again. Whoop, here comes Jean all the way from Wisconsin. The A quarter note is a 2, G1, C3. Let's go to the next line, E5. C3, B2, A1, B2, C3, D4, D4, F5, F5. Now that's a little bit of a stretch, but you can do it. You can do that. You're going from a 4 up to a 5. You're only skipping one key. You can do that. Then your whole hand is going to come over a little bit, and the E in the next line is a 4. So your hand never stays in one position. The C is a 2, the low G is a 1. A2, C3, F5. We had that exact same phrase at the top of the page. When you have phrases that are the same, your fingering should also be the same. The consistency is the key to good fingering, because what will happen is your hand remembers. Your hand remembers what it did. The last note in the third line, the A is a 2. Last line on that first page, G1, C3, E5. C3, B2, C3. Top of the second page, E5, D4, B2, C3. Then you have a tie. You hold the note. G1, A2, C3, F5. Guess what? We had that same phrase here and here. So we just are repeating it again. So your fingers will be the same. A2, G1, C3, E5. C3, B2, A1, B2, C3, D4, D4, F5, F5, E4, C2, G1. The next line, guess what? We're going to do this again. A2, C3, F5. That's the fourth time we're doing that same phrase. So we're going to use the same fingers. A2, G1, C3, E5. C3, B2, C3, E5, D4, B2, and C3, and then you have another tie. If you notice, the last measure is only 3 beats long. That's because when you combine this last measure with the incomplete first measure, it totals the top number of your 4/4. Now, do you need to know that in order to play the song? You don't. But now if you go on Jeopardy, you know all the answers, and that's always a good thing. What beat do we actually start on? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 4. So when I count this, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, a low. Or farewell. Farewell. Okay. You all know how this is supposed to go, but I will play it just so that you can hear it. And I'm going to put the introduction on, and I'm going to start with that C chord. So just listen the first time, and then we'll all play together. Two, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. hold, 2, 3. Two, three, four, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm just going to hit the stop button. Okay. Now, did you hear any sliding and gliding going on throughout the song? Most of that was coming from the rhythm, from the Hawaiian rhythm. If you just play the rhythm, there's going to be, oh, there's birds in there too. Hear that? Yeah, there's enough sliding and gliding. There's enough sliding and gliding that that's not something you have to master to make the song sound like you're sliding and gliding. Now, that being said, you can learn on this song, once you have it under your fingers, how to do your glides in the top keyboard, and there's several ways to do that. If you use your foot switch to the left, you're going to kick the foot switch, or just lean on it, play the note, and then release your foot, and it slides up. It takes a little bit of coordination to do that, so this is a good song to practice on. Cheatin' Hard is a good song, some of those good old country songs, because country guitars slide and glide. Only sounds that can glide in real life will glide on your instrument. You cannot glide a piano, you cannot glide an organ, but you can glide a Hawaiian guitar. You're going to, once again, kick the switch or lean on it. Release your foot. Now you have to be careful that your foot does not also go up and down on that volume. All right, if you have problems with that, or your feet just are not really working, you can also use your touch bar if you have a larger instrument. See how you have two touch bars here? This one on the right defaults to glide. So you can touch the bar, play the note, lift your finger. Does the same thing. Some of you have something called pedal magic. Pedal magic. Okay, what that does is it puts on the long pedals you're gliding. If you've got a fanfare or a journey, you just push your pedal magic until it says get close, slide and glide, fill in. You want the glide sustain. So you want to make sure that that one is lit up. Then every time you step on a long pedal, it would do the same thing as this. And that's a lot easier than having to kick your foot sideways on a foot switch. Now, if you've got a larger instrument and you don't have something called pedal magic, you can also go to a feature that is called Pedal Natural Black. Pedal Natural Black. So if I go to my features and I scroll, and I'm going backwards because I know it's towards the end, Pedal Natural / Black, I can make that. Right now it's on a cymbal crash, so if I touch it, oh, come on. Oh, I have to have my pedals on. So now my foot can do a cymbal crash. If I touch the sound effects and scroll, I can do a light show. So if I take my foot and touch the pedal, I now get a light show. Ooh, pretty cool. If I scroll some more, I get a fake it. If I scroll some more, I get the glide sustain. So now I'm going to take my foot and put it on a long pedal, play a key, and release my foot. And that's a much easier way to do a glide than, again, that side kick is always a little harder. The right touch bar is always a little harder because most of the time you want your left hand to be here playing your chords. So if you have to keep doing this, that's not always convenient either. So if you can do it on a long pedal, I believe the Easy 10 is the smallest instrument where you can do a glide on a long pedal. If you have a Freedom, go ahead.
A Discovery 3, what can I use?
I don't
No.
think you check. I don't think you have anything that you can do on that.
Okay. Ballot?
Okay. So get your fingers going in the right spot and don't worry about doing the sliding and gliding because
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Now, did you hear a little bit of sliding and gliding on this lower keyboard and I was doing nothing? This is called portamento. And I always just want you to pick up one new thing. And I do have a lot of people that have some of the larger instruments on here. So your portamento is a button over here. And it's affecting the sounds that are in my lower right keyboard. What portamento does is it does its own sliding and gliding. If I hold the bottom note and then glide to a higher note, you have to hold the bottom note and then get to that top key. Hear it? So portamento does a natural slide and glide by holding the bottom note while you're going to the next note. Something to try. Something to try. And again, if you're on a Hawaiian background that's doing sliding and gliding in the rhythm in the background, you don't have to do anything and it's just going to sound fabulous. Now, what happens if you don't have a Hawaiian background? And Linda, I am thinking of you because a Discovery 3 does not have a Hawaiian background. Okay, so what would I use in its place? I think I would use a Latin. Choose one of your choose your Latin. And you can go over here to your sounds. And you can go to, shoot, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. Go to one of your guitars, and either a country guitar or a Hawaiian guitar will give you the sound. Okay? So hold on, I'm going to go back to where I was. I'm going to go back to my Aloha. See how I can do this the easiest. All right. Nope, that's not going to help. Hold that. I'm going to save the sound. I don't think I have any free banks here. So this isn't going to work for me because I have all my banks filled. But you can take the sound and borrow it and then use it for something else. But Linda, you just go up here to your Hawaiian guitar, or you can even use a country guitar, and it will give you that pretty Hawaiian sounding guitar with a little bit of a Latin rhythm, and that's going to sound absolutely fine. You can even use vibes with your Latin rhythm, and that's also going to sound fine. Let's go back to my Latin. And that sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Yes. So Latin with a vibraphone. Now you can't slide and glide with the vibraphone, but don't worry about it. You just play it and enjoy it. Okay, any questions before we play all together? And remember, you only have to play one hand. One hand. If you are going to play along with me, please make sure that you are muted. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then we go. And we're going to slow it down just a hair. We're good at 72, but I'm going to take it down to 68. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Two, three, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Too fast, too slow, or are we good? That's pretty good? Okay, that's 68. I just slowed it down from 72 to 68, so it took it down just a hair. All right. Very, very good. We're going to play it again. Try it with 2 hands. If you can only do 1 hand, that's absolutely fine. Try it with 2 hands. This hand should start to become very automatic. All you have to do is touch and release, touch and release, touch and release. Do not move your hand. Keep your fingers super glued to those keys. I don't want to see any of this. You don't want to be doing that because then you have to look every time you put your hand on a chord. You want your fingers to be on those keys, solid. And you can reach every chord from right there. All right, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Two, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Two, 3. Two, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3. Two, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Questions? It's a nice song to learn how to use your gliding. It's a very nice song to learn how to use your gliding. Or not, don't worry about it. Get your fingers going in the right spot to start. But if you have glide capabilities, absolutely. Find out where they are. If you are uncertain, don't hesitate to go to your favorite PA and let them know I need to learn how to glide a little bit better. I forgot. Or email me. I'm more than happy to walk you through it. No worries. No worries. You guys are awesome. Okay, what did we do last week? Edelweiss. Edelweiss. So let's all turn to page 52. And Linda, I know you don't have fingering on this unless you got it when you were back in the store. But everybody else got this last week. This is in 3/4 time or waltz time. That means everything is going to count to 3. All right. We all pretty much know the song Edelweiss. We're learning a couple of new chords. I'm going to put this down slow again. The first page on line 2, let's review. We have an A minor. A minor is pinky on C, thumb on A, every time, every time. D minor on line 3 is D and F. Fourth finger on D, pointer on F, right where it lays. G7, if you wish to play it, is F and G. Now remember the rules for finding a 7. It's the letter minus 2. 1, 2, F and G. Pointer and thumb, same time. Same thing applies for the minor. It's the letter plus 3 up the keyboard, but you just want to make sure it stays between these two nice little note cards. So if you've got an A minor, it's 1, 1, 2, 3. It took me to the C outside the note card, so I'm going to put that C back inside my little box and play it with my pinky on C, thumb on A. If I wish to play the 7, now I have to add the letter minus 2. The letter is A, minus 2 is a G, so it would be C, G, and A. But that's a 3-finger chord, don't worry about it. If you have a minor, you must play 2 fingers. If you have a 7, you may play the 7 because that is outside of the box. A 7 will always be 2 fingers, but it is optional chord because it's always going to be outside of the box. On page 2, 4th line, 2nd measure, we have 2 new chords on that line. G minor. This is probably the hardest chord that you will learn, but learn it the right way. It is G plus 3 up the keyboard. 1, 2, 3, so it's G and B flat, and you will always play it with your pointer on G and your thumb on B flat. Resist the urge to keep your thumb on G and just cross that pointer over. Don't do that because it might feel like it's easier, but chords go in progressions. So that means from the one chord to the next has to flow easily. Make sure you always play G minor with your pointer on G and your thumb on the B flat. Now we're going to use the same 2 fingers on the F minor, pointer and thumb, but you have 2 different notes. It's F plus 3 up, 1, 2, 3, so it's F plus A flat. It's the middle black key. Now you can see that a little better. And again, it's pointer and thumb. Pointer and thumb for F minor, pointer and thumb for G minor. Personally, I like to keep some of these fingers down here wrapped around these black notes so that I can keep my hand position without having to look. If you pick up your hand and curl your fingers underneath like this, now you have to look to get your hand back in position. If you keep some of those fingers wrapped around these black keys, then you can just scoot up and reach for that chord, and then your fingers can bring you right back to position without you having to look. See how nice and easy that is? Your left hand is the key to playing all of this fabulous easy play music, honest and truly. If you learn your left hand so it becomes so automatic that you don't have to think about it, that's the key. That's the secret. That's the secret to all of this easy play music. All right, I know some of you don't have the fingering. Do the best you can. Those of you who were here last week, you've got it. Let's play. We're going to keep it nice and slow. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. We come in on the first beat. Oh, let's get a better sound than this. That's all right. 1, 2, 3. Stretch. 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, we also learned 2 new symbols in this song. At the end of the song, we have that little rainbow with a dot in the middle, that little bird's eye. That's a fermata. A fermata means you hold it as long as you want. Hold it as long as you want. We also learned in line 2 of the second page, we have those 2 little, they look like little 7s with little ballies on the end. Those are eighth rests. 1/8 rest equals 1/2 of a count, the same as an eighth note. The 2 of them together equals 1 complete count. Well, question, why wouldn't they just put a quarter rest instead of 2/8 rests? Well, it's just a matter of semantics is all it is, because you're trying to keep it in 1, 2, 3. So 1/8 note plus 1/8 rest equals the first beat. And then 1/8 rest plus 1/8 note equals the second beat. If they would have put that quarter rest in there, that would equal beat 1.5 up to beat 2.5, and it wouldn't look right. It would count right, but it just wouldn't look right. So they always write music so that it's the easiest for us to read. They always try to keep everything in mathematical order. And that's all it is. So we learned an eighth rest. We learned what a fermata is. Let's play the whole song one more time. How are we doing on time? Ooh, we're doing good. Okay, one more time, Edelweiss. It's just such a pretty song. 1, 2, 3. Top of the page. Second line. There's your hard chord. You can hold that as long as you want. Any questions? Nope. Okay. Happy practicing. Next week we will take a look at, the beer barrel polka. Yeah. That will be a good one. The hardest part about that is getting it up to speed. All right. You guys are the bestest. Do not forget to call me, email me with any questions or comments. Some of you I'll see later on in the week. Some of you I'll see again next Tuesday. You guys are the bestest. Have a fabulous rest of the day.
Yeah. Okay. Can I call you for the
Yes.
fingering on the Edelweiss?
You have an
Okay.
email address, Linda?
Pardon me?
Are you available yeah, you've got an email address, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Shoot me an email and I'll just scan it to you. I should have your
Perfect.
email on
Okay.
file here.
Okay.
And I'll,
Thank
I'll
you very
just I'll just
much.
scan it to you and then you can just copy them down.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
so
it.
welcome. You
Good
guys
to
are
see you.
awesome. It's good to see you too.
Bye.